Welcome in to the Roll Tide Rewind. We appreciate you joining us here this afternoon. I'm filming this in the morning. Apologies if I mess up any of my words. I'm coming off of a night shift, so just bear with me through this recording. But Alabama has its first get of the transfer portal class, and Brandon Garrison from Kentucky. He is entering his senior year, and he adds much needed front court depth into Alabama's very thin front court with Aiden Sherrill and Taylor Bowen leaving up some roles that need to be taken. And Brandon Garrison, he fits the role of a big man, 6'10", 245 pounds. He is a big and large dude, and he's very athletic. And that was something Alabama was missing a lot in their front court this year. But a little background on Brandon Garrison. High school was a 4-star in the class of 2023. He went to Oklahoma State for a year, then he went to Kentucky for 2 years, but he was the number 7 center in high school. He was a McDonald's All-American. He was Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year, number 1 player in Oklahoma. And even in his class, he was above guys like the likes of Cohen Carr, Jaron Stevenson, JP Estrella, Reed Shepard, Jalen Lowe, just to name a few. So very talented guy coming out of high school. And then, like I mentioned, in college, he went to Oklahoma State for a year, started there. He started 29 of 32 games, transfers to Kentucky for the first year, Mark Pope. And he played 71 games at Kentucky, started 5 of them. He didn't have crazy minutes. Past year was 17 minutes a game, but efficiency numbers were pretty all right. I mean, depending how long he played in the game, but he showed a lot of ability. If you look at the stats, it's not going to blow you away. Like I said, 18 minutes per game, 6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 1 block a game. But you see the impact that he can have on a game when we look at this film in just a little bit. But one thing that stands out to me when we go into the film, he's very energetic. He would actually have the best rebounding rate on Alabama's team last year, almost the same offensive rebounding rate as Amari Allen, and had the same defensive as Aiden Sherrill. He gives Alabama a pretty solid rebounding backup that has experience. He's played over 90 games in high major basketball, and he's very athletic enough to catch lobs, which Alabama did not have this past year. We did not have guys that were jumping up there like Cliff Amore or Nick Pringle were doing consistently. When you look at the film of Brandon Garrison, there's a lot of things that stick out. He fits this team because he's a lob threat. He flies, a high flyer at 6'10", reminds me a lot of Nick Pringle. He also fights on the boards for offensive rebounds, and he runs the court very, very well. He gets up and down the court, and with Alabama wanting to go fast, he does that really well. One thing that Alabama fans will love is he gives a lot of effort on defense. He is a guy that will fly around, gets great blocks. He is just a guy that gives effort, and kind of like similar to Amari Allen. Amari Allen gives a lot of effort on defense. I felt like this past is another example. He's also not a bad passer. He's not a guy that's averaging 5 assists to 1 turnover or some crazy ratio like that. He's just a guy that can make good passes, good bounce passes in the lane. We'll go over that in the film real quick. We're going to move over to his film. We're going to look at the highlight video that is also on the Roll Tide Rewind YouTube channel if you want to check that out. But we will transition to the highlight video real quick. And here is the highlight video. So, like I said, we're going to be looking at a few things. How he catches lobs. He's an athletic lob threat, gets offensive rebounds, runs the court, not a bad passer, and he plays a lot of defense. So you see his athletic ability here against Santa Clara in the NCAA tournament on the first little play here. Very energetic with the dunk. According to some UK fans, he gets into at least 2 scuffles a game. Reminds me a lot of Javon Quinterly. And it looks like he's a technical flagrant foul type of guy like Javon Quinterly was. So you don't want that energy all the time, but it's nice to have a guy that can juvenize the team. And also, I remember this play against Santa Clara to end the game. They had him on their point guard. You thought it was a mismatch. Instead of going inside, the point guard tries to hit a shot over Brandon Garrison, and that's just not going to work. Sorry if this is lacking a little bit, but he gets the block and goes down and gets the dunk. So another reason playing defense, runs the court very well. This play here he is getting up and down the court and becomes a lob threat from former Alabama player Mohamed Diabate. Adrian Woolley misses the 3. He could be missing a 3 in an Alabama uniform, but time will tell. He Brandon Garrison, you see here, he's right at the free throw line. They're going to pass this out to Colin Chandler at the top, and Brandon Garrison's going to hit the Jets here and get an and one at the other end. So running the court, I don't see any issues with that. And then from Jasper Johnson, who could potentially also be on Alabama's team this next year, gets the offensive rebound, gets the putback. So remember, offensive rebounding was a big thing that Alabama struggled with a lot this year, rebounding in general. And then you bring in a guy that's so energetic like Brandon Garrison, who can be able to make the plays. He's also not a horrible three-point shooter. Like, he shot like 30% 2 years ago. Last year, he wasn't outstanding from three-point land. He didn't really shoot a lot of them. He'll be given the green light to shoot more with Nate Oates, but he can shoot them. He has the ability, but not going to be a forefront of his game. Like, these 2 clips in a row were 3-point shots, but not going to be the forefront of his game. And then we'll see here, gets the screen, and then he can be, even though people know that he probably is not going to shoot threes, he can be a threat from the outside to pump fake and drive right into the lane and get into the thing. So, like I said, he's 6'10", 245. You would think he doesn't move well. He's very athletic. He flies around, and he's insanely, freakishly athletic. See him fighting on the boards here for second and third chance opportunities. We'll go into the next one here, becoming a lob threat again. Otega Owe was really good with Brandon Garrison finding the lob threats, and if we can get a good point guard, maybe Aiden Holloway or some other guy comes in and becomes that, lob threat, like how LeBaron was with Clifford Amore, Mark Sears was Clifford Amore, same kind of deal. But like I said, his defensive energy is great. You see this block here they're doing for mid-range jumper, sends it up in the air, and then starts a fast break opportunity. You can see here they kind of lose him on defense, and he gets the dunk. So he's very energetic with these dunks. These are always a good thing, being very physical to get to the rim. You see here it's going to be another lob threat. One thing to know, he is a free throw liability, only shoots, I think he shot less than 60% all 3 of his seasons, maybe for 2 of the 3 seasons. So something to look out for is he's not a great free throw shooter. So if he is to get fouled, you're going to hope that he gets an and one, or gets the and one, or maybe hits one of the 2 free throws, because that's usually how it went. You see here against Malik Dia has some good defense, and then pump fake gets him on a floater. And then you see here, going to be fighting for offensive rebounds, very opportunistic, gets the foul, and one. Finishes through contact a lot, too. You see a lot of these clips, he will finish through the contact, like right here against Tennessee over Nate Ament. Gets a really good putback. Against Auburn, you're going to see him get the offensive rebound, gets a second chance opportunity and a third chance opportunity. So, like I said, we're catching lobs, offensive rebounds, running the court, playing good defense, and we'll get in the last 2 clips will be how some passing the ball. But here he is running the court. Look how fast he is. So rebound is here to Colin Chandler. He's kind of like middle from the free throw line to the baseline. You see all these A&M defenders, and watch him just blow right by him. He's going to get the dunk. But running the court's going to be great, and also running the court back on defense to help prevent fast breaks, to get blocks is always good. And then him getting the rebound against Florida. Against LSU was probably one of his best games of the season. He had almost 20 points. He hit 2 big threes back-to-back, including this one right here, to help Kentucky, expand on their lead. And they ended up winning two games in the SEC tournament and going to play Florida and getting massacred for the 3rd time this year. But a lot of these clips, like we said, it's going to be catching the lobs, offensive rebounds, playing the defense, run the court, and the last 2 clips will be passing the ball. Here's a block right here on Alex Condon. Condon kind of almost in no man's land, travels and gets rejected. But here's some good passing for Brandon Garrison. You see how he's looking like he's waiting for the point guard to come take the ball from him, and Otega Owe is going to take this as an opportunity to do a fake cut inside, and he gets them, and it's a great pass from Brandon Garrison. And then same thing here, Denzel Aberdeen, fake, and hits him right in between the numbers. So for Brandon Garrison to be a good get for this portal class, so last year, let's just be real, Alabama had a terrible portal class. Noah Williamson was not the guy you thought he was going to be. Jalil Bethea was not the guy you thought he was going to be. Taylor Bowen had a great game against St. John's. You thought you had your guy, but season didn't really work out well for him. And then same thing with Keaton Bristow. Injuries affected 3 of those guys' seasons, but they were just never up to what we were expecting them to be whenever they played. Brandon Garrison is a different type of player. He's very athletic compared to those guys, besides Jalil Bethea. Jalil Bethea is freakishly athletic for his size. Brandon Garrison provides that front court athleticism that Alabama was missing this year, and also the physicality being the main thing. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about Brandon Garrison coming to Alabama. Do you think he will be – I don't think he'll be a starter. I think he's going to be a depth piece. But do you think he has a chance maybe to start a few games? Let us know in the comment section. And let us know what other portal gets you would like to see. But until then, hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and roll Tide.